Good morning. This is Elder G. This is Monday, June 29th, 2026. God can woke us up one more time. God can start us on our way. God can close us in our right mind. And I hope and pray that our limbs are working properly. But every time I pray that prayer, I know that everybody didn't get the opportunity to wake up this morning. Everybody's eyes didn't come open. Everybody's mind is not regulated. And everybody's limbs are not working properly. There's people in prison, jailhouses, hospitals, nursing homes. That's people that's sick and in a lot of pain. But do God come and heal them all? Do God take away all their troubles? No, he don't. Because he don't have to. When God made us, he made us for a specific purpose. He gave us a free will to decide out of two outcomes. You can go with his son, Jesus Christ, or you can go with the devil. God ain't gonna stop you in between your journey to the judgment seat of Christ. It's your choice. You can do it your way. You can do it the hard way, or you can do it the easy way. When God called me while I was still walking in darkness, I couldn't see. I had eyes, but I couldn't see. I had ears, but I couldn't hear. But one day God spoke. I didn't hear him in a voice, it was in a vision. I still remember it just like it was yesterday. Me and my brothers had just was gonna go do something that we wasn't supposed to do. Because we've been pushed to the edge so long. And we just got tired of it. Tired of not having money when you're hungry. Tired when you got a job interview, but you don't got a car. And the person that said they was going to let you use their car, they changed their mind. Tired of people talking behind your back. Tired of people lying on you and backstabbing. When really, they the perpetrator and you the victim. We done came to a crossroad in America. The very people that wrote the law is the very people that's breaking the law right now in June 29th, 2026. Those are the very people that breaking the law. It's the very people that wrote the law. That prejudiced white man He wrote every law in this country. That prejudiced white man, he wrote all the laws that's in the Constitution. That very prejudiced white man that's trying to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America is that same prejudiced white man that wrote that law. Now, if we stand back and let that same prejudiced white man that used that law that's supposed to work for everybody, but they only use that law to benefit white people. Whenever you hollow out a very law that was established by you and for you, that very law that you benefited from for 500 years. I know the Constitution wasn't written, but it was in your mind and in your soul when you left Britain with the Bible in your hand. It was your ideal. It was your dream that no man, woman, or child is above the law. You didn't like that in Britain, where the king ruled the church and the king owned all the land and the king made all the rules. You didn't like that. So you had this constitutional ideal in your mind and you made it come to pass. The very man that wrote it is the very man that's trying to tear it down because he don't want black and brown people and women to enjoy the Constitution the same way they done for 500 years. You trying to take away a right from people that was born here. Not because they trying to overturn the Constitution or break laws. It's because you don't want them to have it. You don't want them to have access to the best hospital. You don't want them to have access to the best doctors. You don't want them to have access to the best lawyers. You putting your foot around their neck while they trying to get equality. You choking them at the same time, and you claim that you the law. In the Constitution, no man, woman, or child is above the law. The law is blind. The law is supposed to only deal with facts. Not only just facts, facts above a reasonable doubt. You gotta be almost 100% sure. The Bible says only can you convict somebody. It's got to be at the mouth of 2 or 3 eyewitnesses, not just 2 or 3 witnesses, 2 or 3 eyewitnesses. That bar is so high that is hardly ever crossed. But that white man thinks he's better. Not because he got a better education. Or God deemed him to be better. God have no respect for a person. If God will do it for you, he'll do it for me too. So those lies and that bull, it ain't gonna work with me. It ain't gonna work with God. And it ain't gonna work with Christ. Those days are over. People act like they don't know what sin is. Let me tell you something. I went to school, right? I'm not the brightest light in the room, but I'm still a light. And since God called me out when I was a dim light, but God shined that glorious light one day, and my eyes came open, and I could see. A decision has got to be made. You either gonna make the tree good and its fruit good, or you gonna make the tree corrupt and its fruit corrupt. My brethren, a fountain, it cannot bring forth fresh water and salt water at the same thing. My brethren, these things ought not to be. Jesus tell you in the temple, you either make the cup and the platter clean, or you just leave the cup and the platter dirty. A decision has got to be made. The president white man, you may clean the outside of the cup and the platter, but inside the cup and the platter, it's full of dead man's bones and all unrighteousness. Anybody that says that they know God and keep not God's commandment, those people are lying. So when I see people boasting about God and how much they love God and how they believe in Jesus, I just watch them and I see what kind of fruit they bring forth. And then once I see what kind of fruit they bring forth, then I know how to carry myself around them and how to act around them, or how much trust should I give to them. And then I act accordingly around them as to what my conclusion is. I want to talk about the Constitution this morning. The Constitution is a document that was written by the prejudiced white man. It was written by and for that prejudiced white man. It wasn't for women, it was against them. Because they didn't have no freedom. They couldn't vote. They couldn't buy land. They couldn't even open a bank account. That man beat them and talked to them like they was animals and did them any kind of way, and ain't nothing they can do about it because the protection for women wasn't written in the Constitution. The protection for black and brown people, it wasn't written in the Constitution. The protection that was written in the Constitution, that prejudiced white man, he wanted it to be only for white people. But there was some amendments made to the Constitution. The First Amendment was made by Congress. Congress is the only body in the Constitution that write federal laws. Let me say that again. Congress is the only institution in the Constitution that's able to write all the federal laws. That there is no one above them. Congress established the federal court. Congress is the one that established the Supreme Court. And Congress could also get rid of the Supreme Court if they want to. All they need is 5 Supreme Court justices out of 9. And they could take something away from you. Congress is the only one that could write laws. In order for you to the Supreme Court cannot fire the Constitution. But the Constitution can fire the Supreme Court. Any Supreme Court justice can be impeached and removed. There is a mechanism. When a man say that just because somebody sneaked in here from Mexico, I might say a man named Justice Clarence Thomas, the one that oversees the law, is the very one that's breaking the law. When Clarence Thomas said that an illegal alien don't have no rights against the federal government, that's ground for impeachment against Clarence Thomas. Because in America, everyone is entitled to due process. You don't have to be an American citizen to be entitled to due process. As long as your feet is on American soil, you don't have all the rights as an American, but you are entitled to due process. And a lot of folks just hear you say that you're entitled to due process. They don't tell you exactly what you're talking about. We're talking about the rights that you got under the Constitution. Due process. If law enforcement think that you're doing something against the law, the Constitution said that you can detain that person until you find out the truth. Now, while that person is being detained, that person have certain rights. Whether they're American citizen or not, they're on American soil, they're entitled to what we call due process. They have the right to remain silent. Because the Fifth Amendment says that you don't have to incriminate yourself. If you rob somebody, you don't have to tell them that you did it. You don't have to put yourself in prison. That's what the Fifth Amendment said. You have a right against self-incriminating yourself. That's the Fifth Amendment. See, everybody is entitled to the Fifth Amendment. If you own American soil, you are entitled to the Fifth Amendment. You have the right to remain silent. Because you know why? Because everything that you say, it can and it will be held against you in the court of law. That's why when the cops trying to make you talk, you invoke your Fifth Amendment. I invoke my constitutional rights under the Fifth Amendment of the United States of America. I have the right to remain silent. I have a right to an attorney. Everybody, no matter whether you have money or not, you have a right to an attorney. Now, if you can't afford an attorney, the state that you in, they will appoint you an attorney for free because you are entitled to an attorney. The Second Amendment says that you have the right to bear arms. But there are some limits in the Constitution that prevent you from owning a firearm, like you've been convicted of a felony. Or you got a violent conviction. They can restrict your rights. But other than that every American citizen agreed to in the Constitution, any other, the Constitution is clear. If you haven't been convicted of a felony or violent crime where you used a weapon, you are entitled to be able to bear arms, as long as you're going by the rules and the regulations that's laid down in the Constitution. You got the right to form an army, a security system to protect and serve your community and your people. You have the right to establish a regulated militia. That means that you're going to have to train your men and women and children in weapons. You're going to have to train your women and children in law. And you got to train them when to use force and when not to use force. If the federal government comes against a sovereign state, let me tell you what sovereign is. Sovereign means that if someone tried to invade your state or take over your state constitution, or take over your government establishment, say in the state of Alabama, if the federal government tries to come into the state of Alabama against our Constitution, we have every right to stop them. If we ain't broke no laws, the federal government have no right to come into the state of Alabama and to take it over. That would be what we call a coup. The people that's in that state can form their own militia, a regulated militia that's approved and everybody's licensed and everything is decently and in order. You have the right, if that federal government comes and you ain't broke no law, you have every right to stop them. That's what you hired your governor to do, to protect the Constitution and the laws that was imposed in the state of Alabama. And the state could call up his militia to protect them away from a radical and out of control federal government. That's what that is. The Constitution says that the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force and the Marines, when they took office, they swore an oath. They didn't swear an oath to the president. They didn't swear an oath to the vice president or to the House or the Senate or the Supreme Court. They pledged their allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. one nation, under God, indivisibly with liberty and justice for all. It's the United States of America. It's not the divided state of America. Black and brown people and women, we pledge our allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, under God, indivisibly. That means it can't be torn down. That there is nothing above the Constitution or no one. No one is above the law. Not the president, not the vice president, not the House, not the Senate, not the Supreme Court. No man, woman, or child is above the law. Anytime somebody steps outside of the law, you're supposed to stop them. The Constitution said the Constitution rules supreme as how we conduct ourselves in America. The black and the brown people and the women, remember this. It ain't what you do, but it's how you do it. Right now, our federal government is operating in hate, not love. They operating in darkness, not light. The mechanism is clear. The Congress, the House, and the Senate, and then it is ratified when the president signs it. The Civil Rights Act was approved by Congress. There is no law in the Constitution that have the right to write laws except Congress. The House, the Senate, and the president ratified by signing it. And once the president ratified by signing it, it becomes a law. The Civil Rights Act was passed by Congress. The House, the Senate, and the president signed it. It's a law. In order for the Civil Rights Act to be messed with, it will have to be repealed by Congress and replaced by Congress. The Supreme Court don't have the power in the Constitution of the United States to gut the Voting Rights Act. Only Congress can remove a law and replace it with something else. The Supreme Court don't have the power to overrule Congress. How can a law be a wrong law when the lawmaker that you put in place is the one that wrote it? When the Supreme Court gutted the Civil Rights Act, that was a violation of black and brown people and women civil rights in the United States of America. That's a strike against you. That you want to enjoy a right. That same right that you enjoy, you want to take it away from a black, a brown, or a woman person just because of the color of their skin or just because they are female. We ain't gonna let you do that. That is unconstitutional. Only Congress could make laws. And only Congress could change a law. First, they have to repeal that law. And then they have to put another law in its place. The Supreme Court stepped outside of their bounds. They didn't stop there. Those prejudiced white men, they didn't stop there. Because they know in 25 years, the white people in America is going to be the minority. You already the minority around the world. 90% of the people in the world is black and brown. 52% of the American population are women. The majority of the American population is women. But that prejudiced white man is going to take away their rights to have autonomy over their own body. That prejudiced white man is telling the women, I know more about being a woman than you do. The majority of the population is women. And the minority is going to tell the majority that I know more about your body than you do. Everybody know that. That's a lie. Then you take away affirmative action. Affirmative action, it makes it feel balanced. See, in Harvard and Princeton and Yale, that's why all the white people want to be at the best colleges. Because when they come out, they're going to get the best jobs. They don't want the niggas and the spicks and the slant-eyed and the savages. They don't want them going to Yale and Princeton and Harvard. Not because they don't have the grades. It's because they're black or brown or they are female. Because that prejudiced white man feeling is hurt. They gave the women the right to choose over their own body. And that prejudiced white man, he took it away from them. He violated their civil rights and their constitutional right because the Constitution said that no man, woman, or child is above the law. We all equal under the law. How can we be equal when you is taking the opportunity to enjoy a law, but you're going to take that right away from somebody else just because she a female? A woman that can have your child, a woman that can clean your house, a woman that can iron your clothes, a woman that can fix your food. You're going to tell that woman, the majority of the population in America, you ain't good enough. You don't measure up. You don't have that right under the Constitution. The freedom of speech is guaranteed you by God. That means that nobody is allowed to take it away from you. Nobody could tell you to shut up when you want to talk. Nobody. No law. You can't tell me to shut up. You don't have no more freedom in this country than I do. You know what freedom of the press means? When when you see something happen, and you see somebody trying to cover up something, freedom of the press is what gives you the right to report it. Go tell everybody what you saw and who did it. When you try to take away the freedom of the press, the freedom of the press is in the Constitution. When you attack the press, you attack the Constitution that you swore to uphold, whether foreign or domestic. So every time President Trump attacked the press, President Trump is attacking the Constitution that he swore an oath to protect. So that makes President Trump is a liar, because President Trump just pick and choose who he want to help and pick and choose who he want to destroy. That's not the way the Constitution works. I may not like what you say, but under the Constitution, the freedom of the press, you have that right. And I'm not going to take that right away from you. The Second Amendment says that you have the right to bear arms. And if you got a treasonous government, the Second Amendment gives you the right to form an army. It gives you the right to form a proper, regulated army to protect your state and your community and your city and your town. Your governor is your sovereign government in that state. Follow your governor. If your governor is not looking out for your Constitution, when the next election come up, you need to vote for someone that's going to swear an oath to the Constitution for everybody, no matter what color your skin is, or who you love, or whether you're a male or female, or you're a Jew or a Gentile. Your governor have the right to form a militia to protect his state and his community by any means necessary. Each of the 50 states are sovereign. The 50 states is the one that form the federal government. All the funding that the federal government has comes from the 50 states. All the money that goes to the federal government comes from all 50 states. All of them. Each state is sovereign. Each state can form his own army and form his own militia that he can call on at a time of war. Trust your governor. Elect a governor that's going to look out for everybody, no matter what race they are, whether they male or female. Elect somebody with some integrity and faith and love and peace and joy and long suffering. Elect somebody that's going to look out for you, whether you are male or female. Whether you black or you Hispanic or a Native American, a Mexican, a Latino, a Japanese, a German, a Russian, no matter who you are, no one is above the law. If a law is unfair to one person, the law is unfair to everybody. Because justice is blind. It don't see your race. It don't see you being male or female. It see you as an American citizen. And you are entitled to due process. The black and the brown people has been telling you for centuries that you're violating their civil rights. And you're using Jesus for your excuse. Because Jesus cursed the black people. And he blessed the white folks. That ain't nothing but a lie. God have no respect for person. That means that God don't see color. There's only one race in God's eyes. And that's the human race. There's only one God. There's only one faith. And there's only one baptism. The black and the brown people and the women in the Constitution have the same rights as that prejudiced white man. Whatever that prejudiced white man do to you, the Bible said, do ye also to him. Because this is the law and the prophets. No one is above you. No one is telling a white man what school to go to. No one is telling the white man what to do with his body. No one is telling the white man to come or to go. He has total freedom to come and go. He can live wherever his money will afford him to live. He can leave this country if he want to. If you don't want to live here and you want to live in Russia or China somewhere, you are free to go. But what you ain't going to do, you ain't going to trample on my freedom. I'm not going to let you do it. I'm not breaking the Constitution, and I'm not breaking the laws. I obey the Constitution of the United States of America, and I obey the laws. You don't have no right to come against my freedom. And since you don't have no right to come against my freedom, I'm not going to let you. If I break the law, I expect to suffer the consequences. But if I don't break the law, leave me alone. I'm telling you. Leave me alone. I may be a man of God, but I'm a realist. I know if evil come against me, and evil is my enemy, God say, and the Constitution says, I can do everything in my power to stop you. If you don't start nothing, there won't have to be nothing. But whatever goes around is going to come around. If you sow lies and you sow discord, lies and discord, it's going to come around for you. I'm not going to let you talk to me any kind of way. I'm not going to let you treat me in any kind of way. I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated. And I demand that you treat me in the way I want to be treated. I want to be treated with respect. Just like I respect you. I demand respect for myself. Ain't no man, woman, or child are better than me. And I ain't better than nobody else. When you raise your right hand and put your hand on the Bible, when you became a servant of the people and took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and then you turn around and you turn the gun on me when I ain't did nothing against you. That's when you became my enemy. You became an enemy of God, and you became an enemy of Christ, and you became an enemy of the Constitution. Because of the color of your skin, you have determined by yourself that you better than everybody else. I say that's a lie. You ain't better than nobody else. No one is above the law. Anytime that you come to take away my constitutional rights, my freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, the freedom to bear arms, the freedom of religion, the freedom to assemble or to petition my government. Anytime that you come against my constitutional freedom that you enjoy yourself, you become my enemy. And my job is to treat you as my enemy. I don't try to take your freedom, and you're not going to take mine. Remember, no one, no matter what race you are, or who you love, or how you worship, no man, woman, or child is above the law. If you stop respecting the law, then I'm going to stop respecting you. Don't expect for me to treat you like you the law. Once you become my enemy, you can no longer enforce the law. Any man that lives by the sword shall die by it. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. It's the reaping season for that prejudiced white man. Now you have to pay for all your transgressions. You're getting ready to go before the judgment seat of Christ, where you're going to have to give an account for everything that you've done. If your good outweighs your bad, it says that Christ may invite you into the kingdom. But if your bad outweigh your good, God hath prepared a place for you that burns with fire and brimstone. It's called the bottomless pit. That's where you're going to go. But long as you got blood running through your veins and you haven't blasphemed the Holy Ghost, you got a chance this morning. Monday morning, June 29th, 2026. You got an opportunity to come to Jesus just like you are. You ain't got to be nobody special. You ain't got to have nothing special. All you need is an integrity. All you need is respect and love and peace and joy and long suffering. All you need is the faith of a mustard seed, which is the smallest seed of all the herbs. But when it is fully grown, it becomes a tree that the birds can nest in and raise their children. This morning, all you need is mustard seed faith. If you're in prison right now, all you need is the faith of a mustard seed, which is the smallest seed of all herbs. Don't be ashamed to get down on your knees. If you deny Christ as their judgment, Christ is going to deny you. If you're in jail, or you just went to jail last night, and you did a crime that you may never see the street again, you still could save your soul right now. Jesus ain't no get out of jail free card. You're going to have to pay the price. But today, your soul can be saved. You have a chance, even though you may be lost your freedom in the physical world. You have a chance for Jesus to be able to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been loyal over a few things. Come in. I'm going to make you ruler over many things. You still have a chance for Jesus to write your name in the Lamb Book of Life. You may be in the hospital this morning. Your mind may not be regulated, and your limb may not be working properly, and your eyes may not be able to see, and your ears may not be able to hear. But God, no matter what condition you're in, Jesus is still going to be able to communicate with you. Jesus never loses his connection. You are the one that turn away from that connection. But Jesus never turns his back. He's standing right now with his hand stretched out still, giving you an invitation for you to come. Now, when you come, you got to do something. First, if you offended your sister and your brother, you need to go to them. And you need to apologize. And you need to ask for forgiveness. The Bible said, if your brother and your sister forgive you, or your sister, the Bible said you have regained your brother or your sister. If they don't, it don't make no difference. You did what you supposed to have done. You free. It's between them and Jesus Christ now. Now you can come to Jesus just like you are and ask Jesus to forgive you for all your sins. The one that you know about and the one that you don't know about. You can ask Jesus to wash you and to make you clean. You can ask Jesus to take you up off that shaky ground and turn you around and put your feet right back on solid ground. And once your feet is back on solid ground, you ask Jesus to lead you and guide you in the way that he would have you to go. Now, if you ain't been baptized, baptism is part of protocol. When Jesus was getting ready to ascend back to heaven, the last thing he did when he was getting ready to go, he turned around one more time to his disciples. And he commanded them to go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to everyone that will hear it. And lo, I will be with you, even to the end of the world. If you put your trust in Jesus, and you let Jesus lead you and guide you in the way that he would have you to go. You let the preacher take you into the water and baptize you in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost. When you come up out of that water, the Bible says you're a brand new creation. Behold, God hath made all things new. All your sin and everything remains in the sea of forgiveness. While God will never bring it up again. I'm going to ask you one more time before I go. Will you come to Jesus just like you are, while you still got the blood running through your veins? I'd like to thank Facebook for giving me an opportunity to be on this platform. I'd like to thank the one that followed me on Facebook and my friends on Facebook and the one that like and share. I'd like to thank YouTube for giving me an opportunity to be on that platform. The one that subscribed and like and share, and the one that hit that notification bell, that next time they hear that ding, they'll look and see that Elder G is on again. And I think that he's a man of God. And he call your friend and your family and say, Elder G is on. I think he got a word from the Lord. Until next time, may the Lord watch between me and thee, while we ask him, run from another. Go in peace. Until next time, I love you. Bye-bye.